The family. The family is a very, very serious issue in the heart of God. And I want to start by just answering some questions. Uh, I love the title of I like the title of this program. It says 21st century Christian parenting. Correct? The word Christian is inside. 21st century Christian parenting. I think that's the operative word there. Christian parenting. We can allow ourselves to be influenced through culture and tradition in parenting, which has become the source of some of the confusion we have in the family. We call them a dysfunctional family. Dysfunctional families are families where all kinds of things happen. Number one, you're not allowed to talk about how you feel about something. Children are not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to express your feelings, your emotions. If you're angry, don't even let me know you're angry. You see, just keep it to yourself. Do what I say, those kind of things. In a dysfunctional family, don't trust people. Don't trust anybody. Okay, what do I mean? Maybe daddy or mommy can tell you, go and buy me granite. And then you went there and you came back and you bought granite. And she looks at the granite and like, is this the kind of granite I asked you to buy? First of all, did she explain to you the kind of granite? No. There's fried granite, there is boiled granite, there is fresh one. And so the child becomes confused. And that's where lack of trust begins to start. And then in a dysfunctional family, just make this family look good outside. Okay? So that's what culture and tradition promotes, those kind of things. You know, and so I love the title of this program, 21st Century Christian Family. So I want to just address some questions. I don't want to keep anybody waiting for too long, just to go through over one of them. First of all, let me look at it from its parenting, okay? We'll now talk about how kids are feeling. The first thing is, as a parent, I know we have aspiring parents. I saw someone pregnant here. I saw, as potential parents, right? And even existing parents. The first thing to start with is to determine what kind of family you want. It's very important. If you determine that, and then how do you want to raise the kids, that will determine the kind of parenting you want to establish. Okay, Proverbs 22, verse 6 says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he grows up, he will not depart from it. It's like you're going to Houston, right? Of course, we have more than one way to go to Houston. So, first of all, you have determined that it is Houston you want to go to. Correct? You have determined the destination. That's how parenting is. Before you ever want to become a parent, you want to figure out, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to accomplish? And then based on that goal, you can determine the way to get to it. So it's not really late for us as parents. Okay? A lot of us were raised through culture, the way our father raised us, the way his father raised him, the way his father raised him, the way his father raised him. You see? So you have to determine, first of all, what do you want to do? Do you want to raise these children for you, for your reputation, or you want to raise them for God? Okay? It's either you have to answer that question. You want to raise these children to make yourself feel good, be a good person in the environment, in the community, oh, see this man's son, oh, he's an engineer, he's a doctor, he's a lawyer, those kind of things. Or you want to raise these children for God. God spoke about Abraham in Genesis 18:19. He said, I know that this guy will raise his children to follow me, even before he had a child. See? Joshua 24, from verse 14 to 18, he says, he determined, he said, as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. If you read Isaiah chapter 8, verse 18, he said, the children that God has given to me, they are for what? They are for signs and they are for wonders. Which means you have to set the goal first of all. See? Because the family is serious business. It is the family, it is the children that takes after you. A good man shall leave an inheritance for his children's children. See what I'm saying? The inheritance is not talking about money, it's not talking about gold, it's not talking about millions, not talking, you can have all those things for the children. You don't raise them well, you will mess them up. You see that? Yeah, exactly. So he said, the children that God has given to me, they are for signs and they are for wonders. So we have to establish that goal. But we want to raise a Christian family. What does it mean to raise a Christian family? See, so that determines the parenting style that you want to adopt. There are many kinds of parenting style that are available to us today. Okay? Some of them, there are about 4 different types. Many types. There's what we call, let me even just read them out to you first of all. And you see where either your parents fall into or you as a parent, the category you fall into. There's what we call the authoritarian parents. Okay? These are parents who are controlling. They are parents who are punitive, they are rigid and cold, and whose word is law. Okay? They value strict, unquestionable obedience from their children. And they do not tolerate expressions of disagreement, which means the child has no right to say nothing. Just do what I say, and that's it. We have permissive parents. These are parents who provide very lax and inconsistent feedback and require little of their children. We have authoritative parents, parents who are firm. They set clear and consistent limits, but who try to reason with their children, giving explanations for why they should behave in a certain way. And then we have uninvolved parents, parents who show almost no interest in their children. They are indifferent and rejecting behavior. So these are different kinds of parents, okay? So you can tell which from the goal, if you want to raise a Christian family, Christian children, you want to determine which one is best. African parents, we tilt a little bit more or more to the authoritarian dictatorship, this is how it is, and those kind of things. So now, let me explain a little bit about how parenting goes, okay? That will answer a lot of questions about low self-esteem, inferiority complex, all those kind of things, When a child is born, as a parent, we are like caregivers to them. Caregivers, that means you're just putting in, because the child is helpless, the child does not have any help, They can't do anything. You leave the child there, you come back and meet the child there. The child is 100% vulnerable, depending on the parent. Okay. Now, as the child is growing, okay, you come to a point where, as a parent, you move from being a caregiver, okay, to a teacher. Are you guys following me now?
Yes.
You begin to teach this child things about life. You have to make your bed in the morning. You have to greet your parents. You have to respect people. You have to love love, you have to give, you have to, you have to serve, you have to teach children. I have an article called how to explain, the right time to explain to your children about sex, so they don't discover it by themselves. You see, there's a right time to do that. So you move from being a caregiver to being a teacher. Okay. As they are growing again, I can tell you the ages, maybe they get to 5 to 6, as they are moving on, because they are very smart at 3, even at 3 years old. So don't leave him alone in the child. It's not like that. Children are smart. You're talking about the 10-year-old, right? So they are smart, they are exposed to a lot of things. Even in the womb, science has shown that even in the womb, the child knows stuff once the brain is developed. As a child, they were playing music when she was still a fetus. When she got born, if you want to come out and just play that music, nobody taught her. So from caregiver as a parent, you move to being a teacher. You have to teach and teach and teach and teach. After a while, you move from being a teacher to a cop, like a policeman. Hello. You transit from being a teacher to a policeman, because at this point, that's when their personality is formed, their opinions are formed, even at age 7. The child's opinion is already formed. That's when you let a child know that, hey, bad behavior has consequences. It produces pain. And good behavior, obedience, produces pleasure and blessing. At that point, you do more of not sparing the rod. See what I'm saying? If you read Proverbs chapter 22, he will tell you, he said, foolishness abound in the heart of a child. The rod of correction will what? Drive it out. If you read Proverbs 23:15, it tells you the same thing, that hey, don't spare the rod because it will not kill the child. That's what the child needs that time. See that? So authoritative parenting is the best parenting. So at that point, when you see the child misbehave, you call the child. At that point, you spank the child. And let the child know why you spank the child. Don't wait. If you wait, maybe 2-3 hours, the child's brain is the way it's formed. He does not remember what she did again or what he did. If you spank the child at that time, it's wickedness to the child. You know what I'm saying? Just punishing me for nothing. But if you punish the child right there, exactly. So when my kids were growing up, they wee on the rock right there. You deal with them. Don't wee on the rock. Right? So next time, so I'm punked and I'm pointing. I'm pointing. So next time, if the week she will run to me, I'll tell her what to do. See what I'm saying? So you move to being a cop. That's when you are really, you're not just 100% cop, but you're teaching, mixing the whole thing, letting the child know why you are spanking the child. You are doing it in love, not with too much anger, because you are raising that child for God. Then after that, you move from being a cop to a coach. Hello. You know what coaching means? Exactly. That's when they become adolescents from 18 and all of that. I'll begin to coach them. You don't flog them at that time. Now you need to communicate. You don't, cops they punish. But now as a coach, you do more communication, talk. That's when, like what you guys are talking about. You sit down and you talk. See what I'm saying? There's you've already built, through that being a caregiver, they trust you. At that stage when you're a caregiver, they are trusting you and they are trusting the world and they are trusting other people. For instance, you take a little child. Just let me give you an example. You take, let's say, a little child who is just learning to walk, right? How old would that be? Some children they walk at 1, some 1.5. As a mother, you take your child to the park at that age. You're sitting down and you're reading. You leave the child. The child is exploring the environment, correct? Okay. Whenever the child turns and looks at you, you're there. She continues. What if that child turns around, you're not there? What will happen? She'll start crying. What does that tell you? She's feeling no trust. See? So your presence at that time builds trust in the child. That's where insecurity starts from. Low self-esteem. It's like, I'm alone in this world. I don't trust anybody. Nobody can protect me here. See? So you have already built that relationship. It's been formed in the brain of the child. So when you become a coach, okay, you are watching to say, hey, at that point they can tell you as a parent anything that is going on in their lives, but they trust you. The reason they don't tell parents what is going on, they don't trust their parents. So he says they're going to use something against you. If you really, really trust somebody, will he not tell you something? Will he withhold anything from you? That's the point. You see that? So it's building trust, even between husband and wife. If there's no trust, trust is the bedrock of any relationship. Trust. It takes time to build, but you can wreck it in 1 minute. See that? So you become a coach as a parent. Right now, you're just telling the child, okay, this is how you do this is how you do your homework, those kind of things. Then after a coach, you become a consultant. When they have grown, they have gotten married, they can, hey, Dad, I want to do this, what do you think? See that kind of thing? Exactly. So if you understand those patterns, it makes everything very easy as parents. So understanding first of all what kind of family you want to build, what kind of family you want to raise, what is the end goal, and then what do you want to make of them. So let me just go through some of the things that came up while we were talking. Okay, I remember our brother talked about how you check on your children in their rooms. Okay, research has shown that between 12 p.m. and 2 a.m. that's when they are on their phones. Okay, they're on their phones at that time. So sometimes in the morning it's hard to wake up to go to school. So you have to struggle and be waking them, but you don't know what they've been doing. They didn't sleep. And when they go to school, maybe teachers will complain, this child is dull, this child is not following up, this child is sleeping. What are the parents doing? It's at that time. So what do? You have to really pay attention. When my kids were growing up, once it is 9:30, they bring all their phones to my room and keep. And then I still check on them as well. The question is providing, there's an appropriate age to provide all those electronic devices to these children. Okay? Research has shown, if you understand things like from the neurological perspective, the prefrontal part of our brain as men is not fully developed until maybe 25 to 30 years old. Okay? For ladies, for women, it's about 21. So women mature faster. That's why you see in America, you see a lot of women, they are older than their husbands. Because they can reason faster, they can plan. That's the part of the brain that is responsible for what we call executive decision making. That's where you learn that there is consequences to every action. Most teenagers don't understand risk. You can see a teenager wanting to jump on a moving train. As far as he's concerned, don't go out at 12 midnight. They say you are old school. Because he does not understand what you are talking about. As far as he's concerned, all you are seeing is devil, evil. I don't see anything until it happens. I've been to many jails to build children out. People from 14, 15, 18, 21. Risky behavior, high risk behavior. Why? Because that prefrontal part of the brain is not there. That's where you understand there is consequence. That's where they learn to reason, logic. That's when they learn to imagine something in the future that they can become. That's where they learn to plan. See? So when it's not formed, the parent becomes their prefrontal cortex for them. To reason with them, think along with them, plan along with them. But for that to happen, the relationship must have been formed earlier. You see, you don't force it. You get to a point where it's like we've crossed the line. There's no relationship anymore. But the truth of the matter is that as long as they are still living under your roof, okay, there is still a way out. You see that? So that's what happened. So number two, social media. Social media is bad. It's also ugly. Talk about it with the bad and the ugly. Okay, just like my sister said, social media has a lot of risks. Most of it is fake. I did a research in 2013 and I found out that social media is the highest cause of anxiety and depression among adolescents. Okay? Why is that? It's because of the fakeness that is in it. All right? I used to tell people, Facebook, leave Facebook, face your book. All right? Leave Facebook and face your book. There's time for everything. If only you know the damage you're doing to yourself by the things you are posting on there, you will not believe it. Okay, I know a lady, she had a baby, right? University, one of the major hospitals, I won't mention the name, they were careless with her delivery. And so she sued them to court because her child had developed autism. So she sued them to court. It took 5 years. All right. Now she lost the case. Meanwhile, the case was supposed to be in her favor. Why? The lawyer, the hospital's lawyer was very smart. They dug out her Facebook postings when she was 15. See? And all her friends, the kind of friends she was hanging out. This person is in her 40s now. And they found out that because of these tendencies, she's not telling the truth. You see, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to do anything that is damaging to you, your career. Even in politics here, check it out.
Yeah,
Ben Carson, right? He wanted to become president. They dug up his history when he was 14, 15. Okay, violence. Okay, those kind of things. So you want to be careful what you post on social media. Social media is very good. You can exploit to your own benefit. Don't get angry and go post something. It's going to work against you sooner or later. You want to post things that edify people, things that can make the world a better place. And not, there's too much evil already. You don't want to compound that. Amen? Exactly. So, social media can cause all those kind of things. It causes a lot of anxiety and depression. A lot of parents call me, hey, my son is a senior in the university, but he just called now. He's suffering from depression. His GPA has fallen, has become low. Parents are pastors, right? And then when they call, they are yelling. I say, hey, don't yell. If you yell, you compound this matter. Because after depression is suicide. And suicide rate is so high today. It's so high. There are many cases that I'm handling even right now. Anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation, psychosis, all kinds of things. Social media is causing that. I want to be like this guy. We grew up in the same community, or in the same high school. How come he's posting in front of a Corvette, 2023 model Corvette, and I'm still suffering? They begin to hate, they become very angry. Yeah, a lot of them, they are angry and resentful towards their parents. Or not, and their parents didn't cause nothing. You see? And that guy that they're seeing on social media that has Corvette, he didn't buy it. He just went to the dealership, posed in front. You see those kind of things. So, social media can cause a lot of problems, anxiety, depression. They come to school. So let's go back to this sense of low self-esteem and insecurity, okay? From the Christian perspective, from the Bible. God created in the heart of every human being, from a child, a vacuum. That vacuum, it can only be filled with love. See? Love. If that vacuum is not filled, this child will grow up as an adult looking for that love. So he wants to be like everyone else, because now he's confused, doesn't know what it is. So, the way God created us is that for a girl, the mother is responsible to build what we call self-worth and self-esteem, okay, in their heart. That's why mother, father, parents, both together. I think somebody mentioned it takes father and mother, mommy and daddy, to build a sustainable, good home. But sometimes, while single parents, that's not a problem. There's always a way out. There are also those who are widows. That's not a problem. Praise God. So, There's something in the heart of every child that is crying for that. So something happens in the heart of a girl when the mother says, "Hey, you are my girl." See what I'm saying? There is something that happens in the heart of that child if a father holds his child and says, "Look, I love you. You are my best boy. You are my best girl in this world, regardless." Unconditional love. Love that is not dependent. That is we call it words of affirmation. Love that is not dependent on the child's performance. Somebody hearing me?
Yes.
So it's not that this child went to school, came back, and had 0, and that's the worst day for that child. Nightmare. No. In other words, you had 0, correct? But this has not changed my opinion about you. You can make it. Let's sit down and work on this thing. But if that child comes back and had a 0, like you had the last from the back, and all he got was spanking, that has already damaged the child's self-worth and esteem. Somebody hearing me now?
Yes, sir.
That has already messed up with the child, because the child is confused now. Am I existing just to perform, to please people, or who am I? You see that? So something changes in the heart of a child where the father hugs him, lifts him up, look at him in the face and say, "Hey, you're my best boy," or "You're my best girl." That is confidence. That has resonated. We call it primitive brain. It's recorded there like a camera. Let me give you an example. So in the Bible, in Matthew chapter 4, okay, or from chapter 3 from verse 17, Jesus was going to be baptized, right? Right there, what did he hear? The heavens opened. And what was he hearing? This is my beloved Son, in whom... Who said that to him? His father. His father. Jesus needed that word to face the world. Our children need that affirmation from our fathers, our mothers, to face the dangers of the world. When God said that thing, Jesus had not done one thing.
That's right.
He had not gone to no school. He has not passed through one exam. He has not done one miracle, but he had that. When he came out, he met the devil, right? Satan. If you are the Son of God, that's an identity issue. The Father has already affirmed his identity, gave him that confidence, gave him that self-esteem, self-worth, self-value. So he was not doubting who he was. In fact, in Matthew 8, in John 8:29, he said, "Everybody has abandoned me in this world, but my Father has not left me." That's what I say. Every child needs an affirmation, an approval from his father. From his father. Are you hearing me, somebody? The last time I was in somebody's house, in fact, the boy is in jail, has gold teeth all over the place, so many things happening. And the father was crying. He said, "I don't know what I have not done." I said, "You have not done one thing. You've been taking this child's paid school fees, taking their school. All that has nothing to do with you holding your boy and saying, 'I love you.'" And I asked the boy, why are you doing all this? He said, "My father has never one day told me he loves me. So I'm looking for love everywhere. My friends, they love me. Peer pressure. My friends, they love me. I love hanging out with them. They may be smoking marijuana, they may be taking cocaine, but I love them. I have a sense of belonging there. In my house, I don't, even though we have everything." Is somebody hearing me today? Exactly. You want to build confidence in your children, fathers, hang out with them. Let them know, let them hear it. Let them hear it from you, from the depth of your heart. And I told this man, have a time with your son. He's an adult, but still have a time with him. It doesn't matter. Maybe once a week, maybe once in a month. Just hang out with him, fathers and sons. Just hang out. Just let him know that, hey, you love him, no matter what has happened. And he tried that, things have changed. God created that in our hearts. Amen? So that is very, very important. So women affirm, mothers affirm, and our self-worth. Fathers affirm identity. Affirming, Africans, we hold things back. When people do well, we don't compliment them. It's only when they do bad. You know, when they make a mistake, that's when you hear their voice. So even though they get confused, so it's like, it's only bad things. So that is why in your office today, your boss says, see me in the next 30 minutes. What will be your mind?
Maybe something bad happened.
Why is that happening? Because when you were growing up, every time an authority figure, your father, your mother, somebody in authority, anytime, it's because you're in trouble. So that has recorded in your brain. So you're now an adult. 40-something, 50-something. Your boss says, see me in the next 30 minutes. Your heart rate, boom, boom, boom. Anxiety. What are they going to tell me now? What if you went in there and did something good? But if you grew up hearing good things, words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. Whenever your boss says, see me, you're happy because maybe they want to raise my pay.
Race. Maybe a race.
So this thing starts from parents, validating our children, having them. So that's what social media can do. Okay. All right. For now, once your children don't take responsibility, whenever let's just say you've tried your best, the best you can, and these children are no longer with you. You don't want to beat yourself up as a parent because you made a mistake, right? We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. The important thing is, what do you do to correct the mistakes? Making the mistake is normal. But you want to just sit down there and be beating yourself up, I made a mistake. No. It's never too late to start, to correct mistakes. In fact, it was a plumber that made that statement to me. I had a foundation leak in my house, and he came, tried to do something, messed it up. And this was going to cost me almost $11,000. So he looked at me, he said, sir, we make mistakes, but I'm going to do something to correct it. And that stuck with me. I said, yeah, that's true. We live to solve problems, right? So problems will always come, mistakes will always come. But don't dwell on the mistake. It has already happened. You don't want to cry over speak. What are you going to do to correct it? So even when your parents are saying, hey, you did this thing, is not right, you guys got to take responsibility and say, you know what? So I can't take responsibility for my 4-year-old. No, I cannot. Jesus said, Jacob I love, Esau I, even before they were born. What was that? It's because God already knew what Esau was going to do with the free choice that God gave him. So will God take responsibility? No. See? The next one is, okay, we already talked about self-esteem and identity. That's clear, right?
Yes, sir.
You guys know where it starts from and what we can do. So the thing is, although your parents didn't give you, we live in a very hostile environment. Okay, where you go to school, you see some people, comparison is just something people experience every day. Some people can't stop comparing themselves with people. It's like, why didn't some people, I know if they had a choice, they won't want to be born in the family they put in. But God does not make mistakes. He knows why He put you in that family. So you go out, you see people who look better than you see people, no, you don't want to compare yourself. Okay? You want to value yourself. One thing I said to them, write me a list of your strengths. There must be some comparison. Simply mean you have taken your focus off what you have, and you are focusing on what somebody else has. That's comparison in a negative sense. If you look inward, you will see great potentials inside of you. God is smart. He didn't create, He gave everybody different talents. In fact, you read the book of Philemon, verse 6. He says the communication of your faith will become effectual when you acknowledge every good thing God has put inside of you. All of us will have something good inside of us. I have something you don't have. You have something I don't have. If I ignore what I have and I'm focusing on what you have, then I begin to feel bad because now I'm making comparisons. But if I focus on what God has put inside of me, so if you're someone who suffers from inferiority complex, low self-esteem, low self-value, one of the ways to overcome that is to look inward. What has God put inside of you? It doesn't matter. We're in an environment where they can judge you for your accent, for your color. I sit with white people every single day, Caucasian. I tell them, I say, hey, and they refer them to me, and I say to them, how comfortable are you that I'm a black man counseling you, a white person? Are you okay? If you're not comfortable, fine, I'm good. Oh, no. They have a problem, so I have to sit down and talk to them. They can't ignore it. I hear what I'm saying. You have to make yourself, build your self-image, your self-worth. Value yourself. If you don't value yourself, nobody's going to value you.
Yes.
Get that? If you don't value who you are, nobody will value you. Even though you carry gold on the inside of you, greater is it that is in you, right? What makes you think the other person is better than you? And you are living to impress somebody, you are living to please somebody else. What if that person has mental problems? He will never approve you. You're just a waste of time.
Hallelujah.
Are you hearing me, somebody? So value yourself. Value yourself. Value your worth. And that's the energy you're going to be revealing everywhere you go. Praise God. Which one again? Right. So parenting is a choice. Okay? It's a choice you make. What is the kind of parent you want to be? What kind of children do you want to raise in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? You have to set the goal from the beginning and work towards it. Trusting God. Hallelujah. We've talked about parenting. Then also, no two kids are the same. No two children are the same. So if you treat all your children the same, there's going to be a problem. I have 2 kids. They are completely opposite. One is an introvert, the other is a complete extrovert. So if I use the same style for 2 of them, it's not going to work. You see, so ability to know when to be flexible with them. Some they need you more. Some can operate on their own. You can say, hey, do this thing, before you come, they do it. The other one want to know why you are telling him to do that. Don't say because you're not comparing the 2 children. See what your brother is doing. Why are you not doing that? No, you're killing this other person's self-esteem. And understand their giftings. Understand their gifting. When you see your child carrying screwdriver all the time to the TV, you know that this child is inquisitive. He wants to know something. You can tell. The one that comes to you, Mommy, how are you feeling? Mommy, are you okay today? What are you going to eat? You know what that child wants to be. Even in a church, you can tell the gift of every single person. For example, if somebody, just like they were serving this food, right? They're carrying the tray. Let's just say something happens and the tray falls. Everything is scattered on the floor. I'm going to watch and see how people are going to respond to that. Either somebody will first go to the person who was carrying the thing and begin to, console the person, or somebody will go first to the floor and pick the food, or if it was water that spilled, somebody's going to carry something and want to mop that water. And then there's somebody else who's going to be scolding the person who did it. Well, you not saying, you see, so with our different responses to that little thing, you can tell the natural gifts of everybody. It's not hard. Same thing if you bring that to the family, you can tell the gift of your children. Praise God. I want you to see it when you see that, begin to develop it for them. Don't say my child must be a lawyer because it's not going to work. All right, my child must be a doctor. That's why I said you have to answer the question. Do you want to raise these kids for you, for your own reputation, or for God? You see? Or for their future. Praise God. All right, then as parents, we must live by example. Just like, what's your name, sorry? Emmanuel. God with us. God is with you, okay? So anybody bully you outside, remember that God is with you. Don't forget that. I know what I'm talking about. From all your questions, I can tell what your personality is, okay? Don't be intimidated by people. Remember that God is with you, okay? And be willing to learn too, okay? Be teachable. All right, parents must live by example because children, no matter what you tell them, is what they see you do. That's what they're going to follow. If you don't apologize, they will not. If you tell the child don't lie, and as a parent you lie, it's not going to work. Somebody is knocking on your door. Tell him I'm not at home. The child has picked that up big time. So the next time you are telling your child, you must always tell the truth. But there's one that will say, my mommy told me to tell you that she's not at home.
No. It's already exposed the mother.
So live by examples, okay? I have one man here, he said his children are drunk, they drink. And the first one I asked him, do you drink? He said, yes. I said, see, that's what has happened. So they've taken it to another level. They drink alcohol too many times in their presence. And they have a huge bar right there. So now they are boys. So now, I've crossed the line, point of no return. These boys, they drink. Man, they drink. And they come for alcoholism detox, all those kind of things. It started from home. So let's live by example. Let them see you praying. Let them see you don't have to legislate prayer. Okay? When they are young, that's good, but after a while, they want to see the result. They want to see how prayer is working for you. You see that? So they too, they will learn. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let it be my own God. Let it be their own God. Let them own God by themselves. You see what I'm saying? Right. Then next one is, we talked about peer pressure, right? We talked about all of that. Then, Then, like, one of the effects of social media too is like I said, social media is good. There's a good, the bad, and the ugly. One of it is exposure to sexual immorality. It's so bad now. It is so bad now. Pornography, masturbation, even men and women. Even men and women. It's so sad. It's so sad. Some are becoming gay. And research has shown that whenever a person is exposed to pornography at age 9, there is 99% chance that he will become a sexual addicted person. Okay? So you see gay all the time. Ladies, they are gay. The pastor brought a child to me, a daughter, 16 years old. She's gay. And she wouldn't even want to hear anybody. And she's very smart. She told me, don't even go there. I know my parents brought me to you, but this matter is settled. That's who I am. That's who I am. And they have a church where they all go to. So you want to be careful. Parents, please. Don't say because you have money. Okay? We talked about permissive parents, right? Permissive parents, whatever the children want, let them have. How did they get the phone? We bought it for them, right? May God not allow what we used our own money to buy for our children become a stronghold, a problem. See what I'm saying? So you really want to watch that. You really want to watch that. So this sexual thing, addiction is huge. It's huge. It's really people are being hooked to it. Christians, pastors, leaders. Too many in the Christian community. Too many. Sometimes I do group because one is not working anymore. Exactly. So I gather everybody, men, have their own women. Can you imagine a woman? And if they got exposed to same sex at 9, that's gonna be the identity. Okay? Exactly. So maybe you come home one day and your child is telling you I am gay. How are you gonna take it? What are you gonna do? It's happening every time. Are you gonna feel frustrated as a parent? Oh, you want to shout? You can shout all you want. It has happened. So God forbid, hallelujah. So you want to watch that. You want to watch the appropriate time to give them those electronic device. Don't say because my parents, they deprived me, they raised me so hard, so I want to be nice to my children, give them the best. You want to know when you are doing something that is damaging. You don't give a car to a 10-year-old, right? Exactly. I know a parent, they call me to come and dedicate a baby as a pastor. To come and dedicate a car. This child was 15 years old. And you're buying this child a BMW 5 Series. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I was asking myself, do I pray or not? All right? I knew deep down that this was wrong, right? A 15-year-old, 16-year-old, you're buying the child a BMW, and the question is, and the answer is, well, my parents didn't take care of me, so now I have the let me do it. And guess what? It wasn't 3-4 months. Crash that car bill. Because our prefrontal cortex is not formed yet. It doesn't understand consequence, it doesn't understand logic, it doesn't understand to imagine that there is risk, it doesn't imagine, because it doesn't understand what it means to, it's what I'm talking about, which I could go deeper because of time. You don't want to do that. Even Americans, when I was in school, one of my classmates, his father is the CEO of one of the largest engineering company in this metroplex. His own son has to work, start from level 1. He didn't say because I'm the CEO, so let him just sit down and be enjoying. No, he employed the boy. The boy has to start working. So we'll come to class. I'm asking this guy, man, he's dozing. What happened? He said, I have to wake up 5 a.m. I have to be on site by 6:30. Yeah, his father makes him pay bills. They make you responsible. That's one of the things but if we Africans, my father is the CEO of a company. I talked about in Dubai today. That's why a lot of people are not responsible. Most of Africans are not responsible. Are you hearing about Abiola's corporation today?
No.
Exactly. Because all those millions, how the children managing it, that's the point. There's dignity in labor. So you want to know when it's appropriate to give your children something. This comparison we're talking about, we can be the ones starting it. You are comparing yourself with the other. I want my children to be better than that person's children. So you are giving your children things to prove a point. You have already messed, you already spoiled the whole thing. There's no point in doing that. You want to give your children, taking your children at 4 years to Disney, what are they going to enjoy there? At 4 years old, what is the child going to understand? Taking a 4-year-old to Disney or 3-year-old. When that child is 10, you are telling the child, you went to Disney at 4 or 3.
You will say, what is that?
I can't remember.
They don't understand. Because the reason you are taking the child there is so that the child can enjoy the environment. But you'll be surprised the child will be sleeping, is that you are inconveniencing the child. He's sleeping the whole time. Right? So the point I'm making is give your children what is appropriate, the appropriate time. You don't, Bible says you don't cast your pearl before. So you give something that somebody can value. You want to give a gift, you give it to somebody who can value it, right? You don't just give your gift to just anybody. Praise God. I think that's about it all. And then so for let me just this last point, okay? So one of the ways to connect with your children, no matter their age, I'm talking about if they are still living with you. Because I've heard all the comments and the responses. From today you can start. It's not too late. Number one, God trusts you as a parent and gave you these children, which means God knows that you have what it takes. It's just to reorient our perspective. Okay. One thing I do is this. I have, when my kids were, they're all gone now. When they were with me, we have family time. They can be in their room all they want, no interference. But I always let them know, hey, I just sell an idea to them. I don't force them. I'm just thinking as a family, we need to be bonding together, you know. Let's get to know each other some more. I want to just, I care about you so much. I really want to really see how I can help you become a better person. I'm their daddy, that's what I tell them. Oh, so what time is okay for you guys? Then they'll ask me about that, what time is okay? I said, maybe one Saturday in the month, in the evening, maybe like 7. My daughter will say, yeah, that sounds good. Maybe on Sunday evening. So they will tell me the time and the day. And everybody have it. So my family is twice a month. That twice a month, we all eat. I mean, but every Sunday, we all eat together at the table. But now this family time is, all of us will come together. It's not more than an hour or 1.5 hours. We sit down, we want to know each other. I'm asking them, how am I doing? as a dad. Okay? Don't be afraid of being vulnerable with your children. Okay? How am I doing as a dad? My wife is sitting there, I'm also asking her, how am I doing as a husband? Because I'm a pastor too, right? I'm her brother, I'm her friend, I'm a pastor, It's possible as a pastor, I've ignored her, attending to God's people. And she can't tell me. It's possible as a husband, I've also done something wrong, right? So I give them opportunity to talk back to me. The whole time I am listening with my pen and my paper. So my son will go first, he's the youngest one. That one doesn't waste time. It's like he just jumps on that opportunity. Daddy, you did it. Daddy, you take that. Daddy, you did that. He will
That's
talk.
right?
Yes. That's okay. It's okay now. I've heard all of you. It's called assertiveness. Okay, assertiveness is your ability to express your feelings, how you feel about something or somebody. It doesn't end there. Also, talk about what you want to see different. So you're not just telling me what I've done wrong. Tell me what you're expecting me to do better. And me too, I will wait, right? So that family time is very important. That's how we get to know each other. Because like he said, a lot of people don't know their children. So that time you're not afraid to be vulnerable, relax, calm down. So my son will talk, thank you. My daughter will talk, and my wife will talk, and me too, I will talk, right? And then everybody is cool. No consequence. There's no fear of maybe I want to punish you. No. It's just free time. So when they finish, where I'm wrong, I would apologize. Okay, I will apologize. Okay, I didn't know this is how you felt, but this was what I thought. This was what was wrong. This was the reason I did this. I didn't know you didn't see it my way. I'm very, very sorry. Because at the point we find out that we have the same goal, but the approach was different. And the approach became the problem. But it was the same thing. The same thing. And we're working towards the same thing, right? Yeah. Okay, maybe the approach. So I will apologize. Okay, then my wife would tell me her own. Daughter would talk, so all of us will have a good time. And then at the end of the day, we reconcile, we pray, and then that's it. So that really, really helped to have us born. Because I came to this country without them for 3.5 years before they came. Between that 3.5 years, a lot of things must have happened, especially with boys, their father not around, and as a pastor. And one of the things as a pastor, I didn't want my children to see God in a very negative way. You see, I wanted them to love God. They also came because my father is a pastor. The way I'm projecting God to them is wrong. Okay? A recent research was done where Psalm 103, right, that says, bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless the Lord, O my soul, forget not his benefits. 13 benefits were listed out from that scripture. So they brought this group of young men and they asked them, they give them a sheet of paper, how do you see God fulfill these 3 benefits in your life, in reality? 0. They gave them another sheet of paper. How do you see your earthly father, your biological father, fulfill these benefits in your life? 0. Which means their earthly father has misrepresented God in their eyes. So, as fathers, we're supposed to reflect the image of God, the goodness of God, the love of God, reveal God to them. You see what I'm saying? So I didn't want that to happen with me and my kids. They won't say, okay, Dad is always gone. See? So I used to tell people, you can mess with me, but please don't mess with my family. Don't mess with my children, don't mess with my wife, please. Okay? As a pastor, you can slap me, you can spit on me, you can knock my head, but please, when you see my wife and my children, please, I beg you, treat them with respect. I don't want their image of God the Father to be skewed or messed up. So let's see how we can create unity and love in the family. Once children have that sense of security, confidence, self-esteem, when they go out into the world, they will conquer. But if that is lacking from the home, when they go outside, they'll be questioning themselves. They'll be doubting who they are. Who am I? See? They'll be doubting. But when they see other people, because that's what God did with Jesus. So when Jesus came out into the world, the first person that confronted him was the devil. So when he was asking him, if you be the Son of God, he's like, what are you talking about? I'm already the Son of God. You don't need to tell me to convert stone to bread. What are you talking about? I already know who I am. So the same thing with girls. So you go outside, you already know your daddy already told you you are beautiful, right? Your son, your daddy already told you you are his greatest son. So when you come outside and the girl, somebody's telling you, you look beautiful, my friend, go straight to the point. I already know I'm beautiful. What are you talking about? What do you need, right? Exactly. That's the validation. Praise the name of the Lord. Thank you for taking your time. Thank you for listening to me.
First of all, we want to apologize for taking your time. But I believe